All right. All right, guys, welcome back to the Spurs and Spreads podcast. I'm Adam Ryan. We got Patrick Castleman here, and Chaz Brown will be on here shortly. Guys, we got a good show lined up for you today. We got a great guest. We got Mr. Chris Barnes, creator and owner of Hunt49.com. I mentioned him earlier in a few episodes back when we met at the NWTF thing, and we're going to dive right into that here shortly. I've got Chris off stage, so give me just a second. We're going to go ahead and get him on and start talking turkey. Hey, Chris, how you doing, man?
Good. How are y'all?
Man, doing great. Man, look, we're really glad to have you today and excited to give an opportunity to kind of talk more about what Hunt 49 is, what it's about, and all that good fun stuff. But, just tell the audience, giving them an idea of, on my perspective of it real quick. Obviously the first seeing, I'd like to tell the story kind of how I found out about it. I think it's pretty interesting too. So we're at the NWTF thing, right? The National Convention in Nashville. And, we were joking about how I was, I get starstruck by, people like, Dave Owens and stuff like that. Well, all of a sudden I see Hunter Lemoyne and Eric Warlick, I believe is his last name, how you pronounce it. They hunt with Dave all the time on Pinoti. And I was like, I know those guys. And I was like, yep, I'm going to talk to them. And I'm sure everybody was doing it, but I couldn't help it. Wasn't asking them for nothing. I just wanted to say, hey, I'm a fan. Well, I'm sitting there talking, and I believe your daughter actually came up and handed, and then here comes Drew Owens, Dave Owens' brother, and we're just small talking and having a good conversation. And then all of a sudden, he looks at the hat and he's like, yeah, I mean, he even said, and I don't know, I haven't told you this, but he was like, have you seen this? And I said, no, I haven't. He said, it's pretty slick. And, so there's, Drew Owens saying, he's like, and that's how it started. Then the American Strutter guy came over and was like, hey, you need to come see this. Next thing I know, we come over to the thing and basically telling the audience what this is in my point of view. And from Patrick's is this thing is called Hunt49.com. It's an app where it's got all the rules and regulations of people who like to travel, who like to turkey hunt, some people are going after the Super Slam, which is all 49 states. They don't have turkeys in Alaska, so we got 49 states for the audience. But it is so simple to use, it's ridiculous. You don't have to be a tech guy. We always talk about how we're podcasters we're turkey hunters trying to be podcasters, and we don't know how to do all the tech stuff. You don't have to be that. You just have to know how to download an app. And if you know how to download an app, and you really don't, I think you can still just go to Hunt49.com. It's going to be the same thing. You tip on the state. Absolutely. And all the rules and regulations, even the links to purchase your licenses. And the last thing you want to do is be in one of these states, because this can get real complicated. It makes it simple. We don't want old green jeans coming up checking us out, and we don't have our ducks in a row. So anyway, Chris, sorry, a big introduction, I know, but man, I've been so impressed with the app. I can't wait. We got a lot of, plus, we're drinking a pound of these Celsius right now. We're all hopped up on energy drinks. So, but yeah, Drew, I mean, Chris, we're real excited to have you on, man, and give you an opportunity to tell us a little bit about, I guess the first question I'd like to ask is kind of how did you get started with all this, Chris? When was this thing become a thing in your head to create?
Well, I'll date myself. I've been traveling turkey hunting since late 90s, early 2000s.
Okay.
In my group, I was always kind of the guy that did the logistics. When can we go? What kind of license do we need to buy? And if you travel much at all, some of these state websites are just terrible.
They are. Yeah.
So we did a single season slam in 2010, and this whole time we're going to Kansas, and probably hunted Kansas 10, 12 years. And then traveled some with my daughter. She got a grand slam. Traveled some with my son.
That's awesome.
And just this recurring theme of every state you want to hunt, this information is so hard to find.
It's so complicated.
So rolls around COVID year 2020, we did a second single season grand slam.
Wow.
Anniversary of our first.
Yeah.
And I guess that's when the real wheels really started turning, when I first had the idea for it.
So yeah, that's kind of where we feel like we're in the beginning stages of like getting into this traveling mode, becoming like where you mentioned. Actually, you have a great link on your Instagram page. I checked out. There's a little YouTube video, I guess, called The Striker, and one of those things you're like, it's not just for the Super Slam guys. It's also for the people who just want to travel to see different landscapes or different states.
Yeah.
You mentioned NWTF convention.
Mhm.
One of the most rewarding things is, let's see, last year was our first experience there, first time having a booth. I've been as a spectator a bunch of years, but so then this year, some of the same guys we introduced to the site last year came back to talk to us this year about their first experience traveling and how the app made it simple enough. It wasn't intimidating to them. And, that's really rewarding.
I mean, when we first saw it, immediately I knew. I was like, this is it. This is a game changer. That's right. We all talked about it. We were like, oh no, this is going to be the new thing. Like, this is it. So we wanted to have you on too and talk about it and give you an opportunity, because I know it's kind of at the beginning stages, but I don't think it's going to be long. Advertisers are going to be hitting you up here, and this thing is going to start spreading like wildfire if it hasn't already.
Well, I check the analytics every night. I'm kind of a nerd. I like to see how it's being used, and it every time I look, it just amazes me how many unique users, and for each user, how many pages they're looking at. It's really, at this point in time, it's wildly exceeded my expectations of the way it's growing.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned Drew Owens. I'll tell you a quick, funny little story. Of course, last year we were there Tuesday night before the show, setting up our booth. And at that show, we were set up right across from the Hunting Public guys, great location, right on the corner. But we're here. We didn't even know how to get in the place, really feeling like we didn't belong.
Yeah.
So we're there, I don't know, 8 o'clock that first night setting up, and here comes Dave Owens walking by.
Wow.
And he said, my brother is a huge fan of what y'all are doing. So
really, and that
mind blown, Dave Owens
so just happened to be Drew Owens. He's a fan. That's awesome. Yeah, that's a really good story.
So then this year, Drew had been by the booth and talking to us. And then after he left, I handed my daughter Molly a hat, and I said, go give this to Drew. So I guess that's just part of the story.
That just happened to be I guess y'all had him tied up behind Hunter and Eric. And we were talking, with Hunter. He's a Louisiana guy, big LSU guy like I am, and we were talking about that. Weren't even talking about turkeys, and you feel like I'm bothering them because I mean, who am I? Just come, but I was like, look, I'm just a fan. I'm not asking you to do anything. Of course, I'd love to have you on the podcast, but that's not why I came over here. I did say that. I was like, yeah, man, get that. And then they were like, yeah, we'll come on. And I was like, okay, but maybe we'll work on that in the future. But look, let's step. We're all entrepreneurs too, so that's part of also is really interesting to us. Me and Patrick and Chaz are entrepreneurs out. Obviously this is not what we do. This is just something we love to do. That's fun. But, we're always interested on how this, how it got kicked off and how we, is there a plan? I know that you're not doing this full time, right? You're also working right now. Right.
No,
yeah.
I do. I've been self-employed since 97.
Okay.
I do electronic repair, mainly cell phones.
Mainly cell phones. Okay, so you've got a little bit of a tech background, right? When you were figuring this thing out, I guess something that I want to ask is like, because we all look at, we're learning tech too, and we're just like, I don't know how to do any of this stuff. Like, did you have a tech background? It sounds like you had a little tech background. Did you, did somebody help you build the website? How did it all? What are the details on how that got kicked off?
Well, I mentioned I really started developing the idea 2020, and then just kind of stewed on it a while, and then turkey season 2021. My hunting partner, one of my best friends, Brian, we always travel together. We were in Ohio, and when I really started laying it out to him what I had in mind, I got a kick out of listening to your conversation with Jared from Apex about
Oh yeah,
DiGiorno pizza and Miller Lite.
Miller
Yeah.
Lite. Yeah,
Hunt 49 was born over fajitas and Mexican mules.
nice.
There we
And
go.
Mexican.
There we go. I prefer
we
that
were-
over to Giorno's and Miller Lite.
Yeah, we'll take that all day. That sounds good. That's probably more our area.
We were in Sydney, Ohio, and I just laid it out, what I had in mind. We discussed what it should include, what it should look like, and agreed that it was a needed thing and it'd probably be well received. So came home that summer, talked to some web developers, and I think my initial quote for the site, just the site, was $5,000. And that would have been much more basic than what I ended up with. But, I'm
And that was your quote for someone building you a site. It was $5,000. Okay.
Yeah.
And
I thought, man, do you know how many turkeys I can kill for $5,000?
That's right.
Maybe it would have been a good investment, but not for me at that time.
no, I get it. I understand completely. Yeah, there's a lot of turkeys that can be killed. I mean, for $5,000, you could probably get an Osceola and still hunt about 4 or 5 more states, and
Absolutely.
or you could do an outfitter and kill in probably 3 different states for that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I understand that completely. Because number one, that's our goal, right? We're hunters, right? And that's it. You're the same way. It's like, hold on, let's just get this clear. I'm here to kill turkeys. Okay. I also developed a sap, but I can tell by the I can tell by the horns behind you and the fans that this isn't just something you just started doing. How long have you been turkey hunting your whole life? Is that what you were?
I have they first opened a season in my county in either 84 or 85. I think I killed my first bird in 86, and I've been going strong ever since.
Whew, yeah, that's a lot. I think I was born in '84, Chris. That's what my old boss used to tell. My old boss used to tell. Yeah, my old boss. We used to work together, me and Patrick. Our old boss used to tell us all the time. He said, "Boy, I got T-shirts older than you." But yeah. So, but anyway, yeah. So tell us a little bit about so obviously you like to travel, you like to go. I mean, is the Super Slam something? Is that a goal of yours, or?
It is. I mentioned we did a Grand Slam in 2020. That was probably the year we decided to try to do the Super Slam as well. Which we had already planned the Grand Slam hunts. So it didn't work out real well because some of those were repeat states. If we done a better job, we could have picked up some new states there. But
see, every hunter has different priorities and goals and things like that. And I'd say Patrick can elaborate on this, but we were talking like, are we going? We haven't really set a goal. We're just kind of enjoying the turkey hunt right now in different landscapes. But me and Patrick were just talking about this on the phone a second ago, and I was like, but at the same time, now that we're kind of deeper in it, we're like, well, maybe we should go after this. We're young enough. We have enough experience. We're getting better at it. And we feel confident enough where we can just strike out and go and do. And I think a lot of new hunters are kind of they're intimidated, right, by going. And I think that's what your app does, is it helps that factor of, am I supposed to be here? Obviously, Onyx is a huge thing too. That and Onyx working together, my gosh, I mean, we can really do some things.
It beats the heck out of going to Walmart to try to find a license and then find a pamphlet that tells you the season dates and what you can and what you can't do. And it sure beats the heck out of that. I remember us flipping through a magazine in Nebraska, a couple of years ago, like, hey, now it's at your fingertips. You can do everything you need to do from right there from your phone.
Yeah, that's how we found where we were going hunting that time.
That's right.
It was on that little pamphlet we found in Walmart.
That helped out. That was a good stop.
Yeah.
How much easier does this make? Walmarts I've been in, and I knew more about the license I needed than the associate did.
Patrick, yeah, you could tell in Texas. Well, my gosh, I feel like I was telling them.
Yeah, it's like they didn't have anybody to run the whole department. We were like, hey, somebody help
us. They're like, they're asking 15 people, do we do licenses here? And
we're like, what, 800 miles from home? Like, we hope so.
I'm like, you're gonna need my hunter's ed number. Let me go ahead and get that. And they're like, they don't. No, I'm going like, no, you're gonna need this. Just hold on.
A Walmart in Florida, of all places, you would think they get several turkey hunters.
Absolutely.
The first associate told me they don't sell licenses to non-residents.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The second guy told me, if you're staying in a condo and you can bring me a piece of mail with an address on it, I can sell you one as a resident. I got to get out of here.
Trying to get you to
you're in the
commit
wrong
fraud.
place.
Yeah.
Next Walmart.
Let's just get somebody till we get somebody to know what we're talking about here. Let's just I feel like it's kind of like calling one of these big cell phone companies. Just keep hitting, just hang up my dial back till you get somebody. Right. Same thing. But okay, so let's go a little deeper. So you've traveled a lot. I mean, how many states have you killed, if you don't mind me asking? Some people don't, I know you're probably
I'm
humble
just
about
getting
it.
started. I'm at 17, I believe.
17. How long has it taken? Of course, I guess you've been hunting, but ever since you started doing this, was it what, 21? Is that what you said? So it's pretty quick.
I guess 21 was the first season that we said, yeah, we're going to try
We're
to
gonna
get
do
all
this.
49.
Well,
At that time, I probably had 7 or 8 already.
okay. Well, so you knocked out 10 states in just a short amount of time, and that says a lot. We keep going back to the same states every year. I think we're going to Texas here in a few weeks, and Florida. I late hunt in Florida, but that was just my only option. I didn't have the priority points and all that, so I had anyway. Then we're going to Kansas and then to Nebraska. So man, we've got a big, but we keep going back to the same states. We keep saying, all right, we're going to try South Dakota, but now, and that's something too. Have you seen, that's something I'd like to talk about. Have you seen, all these states seem to be going to draws now. I mean, maybe it's because of the popularity. I don't know, but Kansas this year, we had a big episode where they made fun. I had a therapy session for me where they're consoling me because I don't have my tag yet.
Yeah, he won't give up.
I'm not going to. But have you seen a lot of that with all over because obviously you're researching all the states.
Yeah.
What are we seeing that? And is that kind of the go-to thing now?
Well, I tell you what's affecting us more with our planning is all these states are pushing their opening days back. So it seems like half the states in the country now are opening around April 15th. So that just doesn't leave enough of the spring left.
That's right.
I mean, yeah.
And I think that's a big reason why states like Mississippi are seeing such pressure because there's just so few that you can hunt early anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee was always the Saturday closest to March 1st. Sometimes it fell the end of March. April 1st. Sometimes it fell the end of March. Sometimes it fell the first week of April. But now they've pushed us back to the 13th.
My gosh, see,
we're done. Mississippi's about done we've got dogwoods blooming now, with this weather we've had. So it's crazy.
That's right. I mean, April 1st, I feel like that's the day that me and Chaz, years back when we first went, I remember it was April 1st every year. I'm reminded that's when we doubled up, and that's when they're as hot as they're ever going to be here in Mississippi. So, y'all are starting even later than that. I realize you're a little north, but not that far north.
Right.
So,
if it helps the population, I can get behind it, but it doesn't mean I like it.
That's right.
Yeah, and I don't mean to act like I'm advocating against the states. I get that. I know the popularity is, don't get me wrong. I have a little boy. He's 7, and Patrick has a little boy, and Chaz has a little boy too, and little girls who are getting into this. And I hope one day that I can say, my little boy completed the Grand. When you said that, I thought, yeah, that's something I want to do. We completed the Grand Slam and whatever. And we were taking him out. Actually, this Friday is opening, and we're real excited. This Friday is opening day of youth season, so the weather doesn't look great, but we're gonna make the best of it. We should see how that goes. To move on a little bit further, sorry, I'll drag on all day, but there was a couple questions I did want to. How many states here? do you have? I'm sure you have some great stories traveling all over the country and probably some unique that relate to the app, but what are a few things what's one of your best stories that you've had on the road? We have tons of good experiences with us, and literally we have so much to talk about. We've created a podcast. So, and we haven't even dove into those stories yet. But if you can think of one, what's a good one that maybe it's been one of your better experiences on the road?
I've told this one before, so some may have heard it. As a turkey hunter, you need to hunt Merriam's. A serious turkey hunter that has never hunted a Merriam's just does not know what he's missing.
Correct.
We used We have a saying in South Dakota: if he gobbles, you better sit down because he's coming.
He coming.
Right.
And it's not always that good, but more often than not, in my experience. So, had a huge ranch in Wyoming. We hunted 3 times. I carried my daughter, then I carried my son, then I finally went back and hunted myself. But
Mhm.
it was close enough to the Montana state line. If we tagged out in Wyoming, we would drive north to Montana and hunt public. So the year I carried my son, he likes to hunt more than anything. It's spending time with me. You know, he's not a super serious turkey hunter like my daughter or myself, but
Sure.
he enjoys it. So we had killed our Wyoming birds, and he was wanting to sightsee. So we drove north into Montana. He wanted to see Devil's Tower. If you've ever
Cool.
been in that part of the country.
No, I haven't. I seen that's some of the parts that I love about going and doing what we do.
So we spent the morning there, and then, you know, we're already in Montana, so we opened up on X and just hit the road, started driving dirt roads. And I don't know, we'd been driving an hour or two, decided to get out and stretch our legs, and looked on X, and just so happened we were in front of a piece of public. So got out, stood there by the car and talked a few minutes, and my buddy Brian popped the trunk, got his box call out, hit his box call. We get a gobble right there on the side of the road. We hadn't even picked that spot because we liked it. We picked it because we were tired of driving.
Yeah.
Patrick, how many times we've been going down the road and I'm like, hey, we need to stop right yeah, it's going to be a 40-hour trip this year from me pulling this over. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
So we get a gobble. We hadn't bought Montana license yet. So we look at our phone.
Yeah.
There's no service. Can't buy one over the internet because we got no service. So we
Oh, geez.
Drive 30 minutes to the nearest town, buy a license for my son Stuart and my buddy Brian. You know, I'm just kind of the guide on this trip. I'm not.
Yeah.
Turn around, drive 30 minutes back to that spot, park, get out, get the box call, nothing. But we hike into this piece, and it's fairly small for out west. I don't know, 200-300 acres. But hike in, and within 30 minutes, we call in 2 gobblers, and Brian and Stuart double.
No way.
So
that's awesome.
That's one of my best stories.
Yeah, and that's so you got off the side of the road, struck one up, drove an hour just to get a license because you don't have service. That sounds like a Adam Ryan trip there. Of course,
like Adam wouldn't have left. He just said, "Y'all go ahead and go. I'll go ahead and go. I'll stay right."
Yeah, that sounds that's a good one. So I mean, and then doubled up with your son too, or well, your son and Brian. But your buddy doubled up. That's awesome. And you kind of answered the question. One of the things I've written down here is like if you had to pick one species, what's the most fun to hunt? Sounds like you're a Merriam's fan. Yeah. I think I'm kind of with you on that. I agree. I've hunted a lot of places. Sounds like you've hunted more than me, and that's been the most fun to hunt. Of course, I'm going my first opportunity at Osceola this year, so where Hunt 49 app has come in to help, has helped with that. Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, and it is something we're going to continue to use over and over and over. And you did mention, I know that this thing is so it's been a few years in, and now you mentioned too that you are actively looking. So the next step with the business, the next step with the app, you're actively looking for sponsors right now. Is that correct?
It is. You know, it's been a fun project. We sell a few hats and T-shirts to help pay for the site and the upkeep. I'm not sure in the beginning I knew enough about this deal to even know what I didn't know, but
yeah.
My business plan, if you will, was to roll it out, take 3 years to get the user base up and just see if it was going to be enough to be attractive to someone. Lots of options on bringing in advertising revenue. My vision the whole time has been to have a major sponsor for the whole site.
Sure.
Not taking anything off the table. You know, people have suggested let outfitters advertise for their state. Sure, that's an option, but to me, it'd be a cleaner look. It'd be a better product just to have Hunt 49 presented by XYZ company.
Sure. I mean,
Uh,
I agree. I think that would be great. I know the kind of options are limitless of what you can do. And, like I said, being entrepreneurs, that's kind of how we think like, all right, well, how do we monetize this? How are we going to do something to make this, because honestly, all of us, I mean, we would love to be full-time turkey. That would be great.
Yeah.
I think we've had conversations about that, but I mean, we got a long way to go. But I mean, that's kind of our dreams when we were kids. Like, man, that's probably, it sounds like that's what you're doing too, man. And I just want you to know that we think what you're doing is awesome. We think you're going to help a lot of hunters out there, including us. And it's just, guys, one more time, it's so simple to use. You just go on hunt49.com, or go to, if you have an Apple phone, go look at the App Store, go just type in Hunt49. It'll pop. It's a picture here. Let me go ahead and put the overlay here. It's going to look like this. You got a hunt49.com. That's what the app looks like. I know that makes it a little easier for everybody, but it's a picture of the U.S. for listeners, and like I said, just go to Hunt49, and once you get in, you just click on the state, and look, everything's right there. You don't have to do anything. So it must have
Android too. You said Apple, but it is available for Android also.
And there you go, and available for Android as well. So it sounds like you can get it wherever you want. And look, and if you don't know how to do all that, you don't know. My dad never knows his password to his Apple ID or whatever. Just go to hunt49.com and you can go there. So there's tons of places. He has an Instagram. Tell everybody where they can find you and where they can find your stuff, Chris.
Instagram is hunt_49. Facebook is official Hunt49.
Okay.
And
all
then,
right.
always hunt49.com. You hit contact us, and email comes right to my inbox.
Cool.
All right. Well, that sounds good, man. Patrick, is there anything you wanted to sling in there before we let Mr. Chris go? I know he's got a busy day.
You said you were had 17 states. Where are you planning on headed this year?
Well, y'all probably don't want to hear this. I know how Mississippi guys feel about out-of-staters. Starting Mississippi, and then we're taking Brian's little girl to Illinois for youth season.
Okay.
And Iowa, Nebraska, Pennsylvania, New York, and possibly Washington State. I've already been out there once. Brian killed. I did not, so I need to go back. So I may throw that in towards the end of May. It depends on how much left of my hunting budget.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yeah, we start the savings early. Absolutely. Oh, that's it. Yeah, I forgot, Patty. I appreciate you reminding me there. You've hunted all over the place. You've got all this research done, all these things for every state that you've done. What's the hardest state? And we know it's Mississippi, but I want to hear your answer. What's the hardest state to kill a turkey?
Mississippi's tough. I've got a relationship with Mississippi, and
we do too. Yeah, we have the same relationship. Don't worry. Actually, that was how this kind of turkey, everybody's got their version of a turkey tour. Now, that's how our deal got started. Is we got tired of getting our butt kicked here in Mississippi. Somebody said, "Can we go somewhere?" And
we're like, "Hey, man, can we please go somewhere they don't have Easterns? Just anywhere there's not an Eastern turkey."
I remember.
Yeah. A lot of people ask me, what's the hardest state? And I tell them, if you can kill a turkey in the Southeast, you can kill one anywhere in the country.
Right. I've heard that before.
We've heard that a lot in our experience from people who've hunted all over the country like yourself, and that's definitely been our experience with it. We always joke, like, did y'all tie one of those Easterns up to the motorhome and bring it up here? Bring it to Nebraska with us, or did you bring that to Texas with us? Because I heard they were, if we have a trouble day, we're like, somebody, me and Chaz were like, we got to come up with a nickname for these Mississippi, Alabama turkeys that we're used to chasing. So, but all I can tell you is it's a challenge, and I think everyone in the Southeast can relate to an Eastern.
There's tunnels. I'm convinced that they hit these underground tunnels. It's like he went from gobbling 100 yards in front of you. Next time you hear him, he's 300 yards behind you. He must have hit that tunnel.
That's a good one. But anyway, Chris, look, man, we really appreciate you coming on. We've had a really good conversation, and this is exactly what we wanted to do. We want to give you a platform to promote your app, because I feel like it is something that our listeners need to know about. A lot of our listeners are traveling; they're going all over the place, and they're like us. We're just your average guys. We don't claim to be experts, but man, this helps us average guy out. It helps us. It helps your average hunter out there, and I think it's going to help a lot of people. So, man, be proud of what you've done. I think what you've created is pretty awesome.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, the feedback has been overwhelmingly positive, and I'm always open to adding more information, changing stuff.
Mhm.
I got a really good suggestion at NWTF this year, and I've already implemented it on the site. So a lot of that stuff can be changed or added fairly quickly. So
Yeah, and that's kind of one of the beauty of it. It can always be evolving. It can always be getting better, and that's kind of how we run things in our businesses as well. There's times changing all the time. We got to adapt. So that's good stuff, Chris, man. And I'm going to be getting up with you too. We got more to talk about separately about maybe possibly trading some hunts. I know you need Mississippi turkey. I'd love to go to Tennessee. We'll talk about that off air.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So anyway, Chris, man, again, like I said, we appreciate your time, appreciate you coming on, and I know you got to get back. So thank you, man.
Appreciate it, Chris. Good talking to you, man.
All right, Chris. Thank you.
Why is Chaz acting like he's a special guest today? Like he can just call the shots. I can't come on at 12 today. I can be there at 2.
Hey, welcome back. Segment 2. I'm glad you can make it, Chaz. You can't be here on time. Just get here when you can. Okay.
Special guest.
I was just thinking, I bet what I missed, it was just a bunch of you talking. That poor fella probably couldn't even get a freaking word in. God bless. I can't even imagine.
Yeah, we had a few of these.
When I was at my meeting,
we're not sponsored by them, but we'd like to be. Go ahead.
When I was at my meeting, I was sitting there thinking, I was like, I bet he is just yapping. So I had to
no one there to
get back here as quick as I could.
Had to get back to pause
so
for me.
I think we got 31 minutes of film with him, and then with Chris, and then we quit recording, and he was on for another 20 something minutes, and he's just looking at the screen like Adam kept saying, I'm not going to keep you any longer, and then it was 10 minutes. Sorry, Chris, I'm not going to keep you any longer. And this guy's like sitting there looking at his watch, and all these little telltale signs. Like,
yeah, it's just like.
Yeah.
Ooh,
hey, that's more
good.
It's a good conversation. That's what it was, guys. Y'all are downplaying it.
Do you have any questions for our special guest, Adam?
I think I do have a few questions. So Mississippi State finally won some games in college baseball.
Sweet.
This weekend.
Who'd y'all sweep?
Did you say sweep?
Sweep.
That 2 games or 3?
Was that a Mississippi private school that y'all played? High school?
You sweep 3.
St. John's?
3. Okay.
I know it's been a little while over there. Y'all looking mighty rusty this year, but 3's a sweep. Yeah. So.
Who?
Just tonight, you get Southern Miss. Southern Miss is coming tonight.
Right. So we get Southern Miss tonight.
Who they beat 2 out of 3. They beat Indiana State.
You don't want to run up against in the postseason. I'm just telling you.
No.
They probably did, though, just get gassed out.
Chaz just said postseason.
I made postseason.
I spent 20 years in the postseason every year. I mean, we had 2 off years, so we're good.
Okay. All right. Yeah, LSU went 3-0, and I can't remember what you call it, but they went to Houston and Minute Maid Park. They beat Texas pretty convincingly. Not convincingly. It was a good game, but they did have 20. The pitchers had 20 strikeouts. I think Coleman had 12. Hell of a pitching performance. Tommy Tanks jacked left center, probably 460. I mean, he smashed it. Hold on. And then
I haven't tuned into LSU yet this year. Did you? I thought Tommy.
It's hard. It's boring when they win all the time. No, he did not. He did not.
He's still there.
Mm-hmm. He's one of the only players. He's one of the only players. I think he was like a sophomore or freshman. I don't know, but all I know is that he's one of the only players that's still on the roster from last year. We only have him and the catcher Malazzo. I'm missing somebody. I think Coleman was. A lot of teams were on the roster, Clank and all that, but they were not starting. So one of the starters, only one of the only starters that's still there.
So y'all going to Omaha right now?
Who are you looking at? Are you looking at me?
I mean, that's not it. Chaz is not even in on this
conversation. Yeah, well, okay. I thought you weren't talking. I thought surely he's not talking about Mississippi State.
It's been 2 years since we've been to Omaha. We've been as many as anybody.
Yeah.
Maybe a
Patty,
couple
I can't.
times LSU.
I can't wait to go back to Omaha,
That was a
like
good
we did
time.
last year.
I hate
Last
Cass
year's,
couldn't join us.
yeah, that was great. I remember we were driving on the turkey tour, going through Omaha to our next stop on the killing turkeys, and I remember like talking trash. I was like, like we hopefully we'll be here in 2 weeks, and we just briefly brought it up, like how cool would it be if LSU and Florida.
Well, last year on the turkey tour, Scott was in there too because the Bama.
Oh, yeah, that was before their
And
coach got
They
caught.
would have been there, but they ran into the number 1 seed Wake Forest. And
Yeah.
They had a scandal too, right? Though, where like the coach was betting on the games or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
canned him about halfway through.
I mean, that's a
They got
pretty
hot.
big distraction. That's what
hey,
I'm saying.
no joke. I know.
Yeah, they still almost made it.
The Bammers, but their baseball team's pretty good. As long
I think
as you
they're
don't,
11
as
and
long
1.
as you're not shorting them in Vegas,
They're good at
pretty
everything. They're pretty good at everything.
I
Yeah.
think they're 11
Well,
and
you
1 right now.
As
Shorting
long as
you
you're
in
not-
Vegas, I don't think you're going to
Yeah.
win. He's
No, it's
trying
not.
to lose so you can win a bunch of money.
Speaking of spreads, I went over to Tuscaloosa and watched Florida give away the basketball game a couple weeks ago.
Hey, that
Went into
freaking
overtime.
arena is huge.
There's a
What'd
game
you say?
tonight. Alabama at Florida, 1.5. Gators are favored 1.5.
Yeah.
This is basketball.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
my expertise.
But March Madness is fun. Now, I know we're baseball
Yeah.
and football people, but March Madness.
Adam don't want
Lot
to
of
talk
fun.
about.
No,
Adam don't
no.
wanna talk about
Oh,
basketball.
yeah. You talking about when y'all are like last
Oh,
in the SEC or something?
Yeah, we're
Oh,
we're
no wonder
terrible.
we don't want to talk about that. That's
I am a fair weather basketball fan, that is for sure. Wait, what are you talk like Mississippi State's been this powerhouse program in basketball.
Oh, no, I'm not talking like we've been powerhouse. I know that we went there and blew y'all out of the water at home. And
Y'all
then-
did. You did. You won
yeah,
by like
we
20.
blew y'all out of
You
the
did.
water.
That
And
kid
then
from
I think
MRA.
we're gonna make the dance. That's pretty good.
Yeah, y'all are pretty
Anything
good. I like
can happen
that.
in the dance. That's why I like.
I'm pulling for that kid. What's his Hubbard? Is his name the kid from MRA?
Yeah, he's the best freshman in the country.
It's where my daughter goes to school. Yes, man, he was killing it in high school. It was unreal.
The other night, when we played one of our best games of the year against Kentucky and lost like 90-89 or something. But he had over 30, and he hit the game tying shot, and it left like 2.5 seconds on the clock, and they went down.
They just let him go walk all the way down to the paint and finger roll one in.
Roll one in.
Great defense.
I
Who called
didn't
that
see.
defense?
It's like a nickel package.
We're in this weekend, but we're gonna get it back.
Who you got this week in baseball? I didn't even look to see who we're playing.
Let's see.
I mean, is it another,
Well, we got Southern Miss tonight. Everybody
Mississippi private school?
We got Southern Miss tonight.
Okay, Southern Miss tonight. All right.
That's a loss.
Is it?
Loss.
Loss. Where is it? Where is it played?
Jackson,
Chaz?
I think.
Oh, okay. I'll go get us a little content down here.
Mhm.
It'd be fun.
Alabama fans were upset about losing to Dallas Baptist in baseball. Dallas Baptist is ranked 20th in the country.
Are they?
That's Charlotte, I think.
Y'all play Evansville. Who the hell is Evansville?
That's another school. That's probably some small single A private school in Alabama.
Which
You're playing Evansville.
We played Miami last week. Took 2 out of 3 last weekend.
Oh yeah, I was going to ask, how did Florida do?
That's
y'all
pretty
got
strong.
2 out of 3 against Miami.
Yeah.
LSU's only
Miami.
lost one game. We're playing
Hey, Patrick.
Y'all played
Southeastern
Xavier.
Louisiana and
Y'all played
Xavier
Xavier
this
Saturday.
weekend.
Maybe y'all
I don't know
make
much.
a run and host a regional again and have 3,500 there on a Friday night.
I think I was there for the Super Regional, and we set a attendance record. I think it was 9.
When
Y'all
I
had
was
30
doing that little clip of all our stadiums, when I was like, Baton Rouge, Starkville, and then Gainesville, I was like, is that all it is? It looks like
a
a
ballpark.
Well,
Yeah.
they stole our AD, and then he poured a $20 million in there, and he saw a great return on his investment on that Friday night opener in the Super Regional.
How many do they have?
3,500 in the stand.
LSU in Texas
Hey,
had like
I believe they called
22,000 in Minute Maid Park the
I
other
believe
day.
they called a board meeting because now it got a little better. I believe they started paying the fans to come. So.
They call it a board meeting.
Hey,
Yeah.
you want to talk about being outnumbered? Florida LSU and Omaha last year for the national championship.
Yeah,
It was like you were in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
it was 4-1
I mean,
for sure.
screaming shit. So
Yeah, it might have been.
can't do
Yeah,
that.
Not PG-13. No, it's fun. All right.
It was 10-1 LSU fans.
You think it was that? Yeah. You look out on the road. You're just like, whoa.
Like
When we went to the little, what's the shot place that we went to? Rocco's. What's it called?
Yeah.
Rocco's.
Yeah.
LSU won the Rocco's challenge.
Now this is in
Omaha.
Gotcha.
Omaha.
Yeah.
But
it was like
it was
they were
purple and gold. The whole place was purple and gold everywhere.
everything I could hear the announcers talking about at Minute Maid Park in Houston this week was the same thing. They were like LSU is 4 or 5-1 over Texas, and they're in Texas as far as fan base is. So state they don't get to go to the postseason. They'd probably show up though if they did. They didn't have really good attendance. I think they're second in average attendance overall for the past.
Last year,
how many?
We didn't make the. Now we won the. Title
I think they're
2 years
second.
ago. But last year, we didn't even make the postseason, and we have 45,000 run through on a weekend. You know what I'm saying? So,
You did have one. Y'all do have the largest, I think, attendance in one game, right? Like probably top 3 or 4 games.
Well, they don't have anything else to go watch.
Yeah, they got it.
Fans going.
we
Scott,
got
you got a point. You got a point. How many?
Bass
45?
fishing.
Yeah, we run through 45,000 on a weekend. That's Friday,
okay.
Saturday, and Sunday.
I think LSU has the running past like 20-something years of first in average attendance.
Yeah, but y'all smell like you go there and you smell like a bunch of corn dogs when you leave. So, I mean,
God, I didn't think that, and I never thought that a Mississippi State guy would use an Ole Miss thing, but that's fine. You want to talk about?
No,
corn dogs,
actually, it's
fine.
an Auburn
That's an Ole
thing.
Miss thing. Is it?
No, it's an Auburn thing. Yeah.
I
read
thought
it.
Katy Perry did something about
How
that.
about Ole Miss wouldn't let y'all keep that trophy over there? As soon as y'all win a national championship, here comes Ole Miss,
Well,
sneaks into the tournament and wins.
And
That's
y'all
the great
were
thing about-
weren't y'all kind of COVID trophy? Wasn't it kind of like
Hey,
asterisk?
that's the great
Oh
thing
yeah,
about,
I forgot about that. I forgot
That's the
NC
great thing
State.
about competition because we had to show them how you could get over that hump through the super regional and win it all, and they come right back and win it. It's kind of like
I forgot
you open
NC
up a
State.
business, and then there's another one open in town, and both of you are successful because you got to show them the way. You know what I'm saying?
I forgot about
Yeah,
NC State.
That's a
They
good
got
point. Good point.
NC State got the
Yeah, COVID did. They got COVIDed out, right?
They were the
Eliminated. They got
hottest team in
COVID
baseball.
eliminated.
You want me to tell you
COVID
who we
eliminated.
went through that year? Vanderbilt twice, and nobody wanted
Vanderbilt
that
had
smoke, I
cooled off.
promise
They
you.
Vanderbilt
Ah.
cooled off. NC
And
State was the
Texas.
hottest team in
I'll give
baseball.
you that, Chaz. The Vanderbilt team
Vanderbilt
was
and
very,
Texas.
very, very good.
Yeah, NC State got
Adam,
COVID.
throw us an asterisk up there on the screen.
I
Big
don't know
asterisk
how
up
to
there.
do that on the. I don't know. Here, there it is, right there. That's all I got. Right
That's an
there.
asterisk.
Hey,
There you go.
That's my
I
asterisk.
really last
Ash-
night I laid
whatever.
in bed after I watched Sports Center and I turned on YouTube and watched the Hunting Public.
Yeah.
And I was asking you this earlier. I can't remember the guy's name because it's Aaron and then a few others, but they're
The guy with the
older
glasses,
guys.
older guy. I watched
Yeah,
him.
middle aged. He always films his hunts. He films his own hunts. He doesn't have anybody.
Yeah, he's got a really good tripod too that
he does
zooms
real
in.
good.
I wish I had that.
And he's real good at filming, and he kind of paints the picture for you. But I needed a real good reminder on what we're up against because he went on a 3-day, I think it was in Kansas, went on a 3-day and finally found, anyways, he went on a 3-day deal and he found a bird with
What
a
about him?
broken wing and gobbler, boss gobbler, and he finally found his roost tree. And so he sets up on that roost tree and he's hammering off the limb so hard he gobbles in a hen, right? And I swear to you, on that episode, I thought he was never going to fly down out of that tree because he gobbled him up. And he sat there just poking his head around for 20 minutes while that turkey circled his tree. And then guess when he flies down? When it gets 50 or 60 yards from him. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're always freaking just playing they're so finicky. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
anyways, that just reminded, that was a good
Yeah,
that
I
was
think
something
you
to open the
get.
season on.
I can remember my mindset like 2 years ago, like thinking like, man, I'm going to go in this season. I'm probably going to have at least 2 birds before blah, blah, blah. And like, I'm worried about killing too many and stuff like that. And then I go and have the worst season of my life. And I will never, but you're being reminded is what I'm talking about. Now it's like, I'm worried I may never get. And then last year I had the best season of my life. But I went into it like, panicked to death that I was going to have another season like I had the year before.
Yeah, you went and got
And,
some
uh,
medication. Got a
Yeah, yeah, that anxiety. Yeah, that's
killing
it. That's
turkeys.
that's what it is. It is a that's a game changer. You
Yeah.
calm down just a little bit, and maybe you can think about what the turkey's doing and not what you're about to do next. And
See,
getting
Chaz being late today could have saved Adam an injury at the gym. You remember it was there in Nashville. We went to I went to the George Strait concert, and he's hobbling around with a pulled calf muscle.
Yeah.
I didn't pull it. I tore it. Yeah, it was torn. Yeah, and I couldn't do anything. That was
Boy,
terrible.
can you imagine having to roll him around the woods?
I won't. Yeah, I'm not. I'll go
Not
hunting
yet.
with a torn calf muscle, but
Not yet.
not it.
Fix you a 10 up there.
I'll be fine. Don't worry. I'll push through it.
Me and
It'll be
Chad
all
were
right.
talking earlier, and Adam put together our first ever little turkey tour, and we went to Texas and
Mhm.
talking to Chaz. But before we were going, I said, "What do you think? How you feel about this place?" He said, "I feel pretty good about it." He said, "I'm kind of torn though." I said, "How are you torn?" He said, "Well, I'm 50-50. 50% of me hope we go down there and just mop them up.
Yeah.
And the other half of me kind of hopes that it's horrible and nobody kills a turkey. That way I can ride Adam's ass the whole way back about picking the worst place in America.
And I cleaned up, and Adam killed
No,
0.
no.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, he killed a hen. That's right.
He was the first one.
No, I did not. See, it's an inside thing, guys.
It
Don't listen to
happens.
these guys. No. Don't listen. God, y'all just
That
won't
was
let anything happen.
good though. That was good. And to be honest, I was very, very serious about that statement. I really was fine with going out there for 4 days, just clowning on Adam about where he put it. I was totally good with that.
I didn't hear a gobble for. I really don't want to go in there and bash that. I'm not going to do it. Yeah. Anyway, we'll move on. It's terrible.
Look, you got to understand that you're not going to have it some days.
Well,
It's not going to happen.
the whole idea was that we would go
It ain't going to happen.
get our,
You're going to go on a stretch where you just feel like you're walking around them.
You can't buy one. Yeah, you can't buy it.
Yeah.
my review of that place was we got catfished. It was not as advertised. There's this, Chaz was like, I want to go a place where we get our butts kicked in Mississippi all the time. Let's just go relax and have some fun. All right, that sounds good. Well, I'd always heard about this, Texas, right? So we're gonna go to Texas, and that's all good. So I decided to find this place on Facebook. Really not. Now, first off, this guy's great guy, and just not a turkey guy. It's fine, but a great dude. So I don't want to bash him at all. At the lodge, we get there, and the lodge is not there. The lodge is burned down. We didn't fail to mention that. 5-star meals, 5-star lodging. We're in and I don't care. I can rough it.
To know.
It's fine. I just would like to be told that.
What we did, you gotta expect that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm okay if you just give me a heads up. Just let me know. It's fine. I can rough it. It's fine. I don't have an issue. I can stay in a tent.
It has nothing to do with the lodging or this. You got smoked.
We were in a rock lot storage building. Yeah, and then I'm all good with that as long as we have turkeys. And we get out there. No, I didn't get smoked. I never heard of turkey. I mean, why am I get smoked? Well,
The only thing that got smoked on that trip was a 2-year-old hen.
You got smoked.
It's not what happened.
It's okay. You're gonna not kill every time. It's fine. You're in Texas.
We got
desert. There's Rios everywhere.
People are going to think I actually illegally killed a hen. Don't. Just for the disclosure,
it's an inside joke.
Let's not. Yeah, that's what they think they heard me shoot, and I was shooting a rattlesnake, and they think I was shooting a hen. So they like to always say Adam probably killed a hen and didn't tell anybody. So you'll hear an inside joke all the time about how I'm pulped away from the Grand Slam. It's because they.
So are you admitting to killing a jake?
On what are we doing? We're getting prepared for youth season, which starts in 2 days. I've got in Mississippi. Youth season starts in 2 days. I'm going to take my little 7-year-old boy out. I mean, 3 days.
Friday, right?
Friday morning, we will be there. We will be in the woods listening to hopefully listening to gobbles. The weather doesn't look good. A little rain in the forecast, not for right at 6 a.m., but it does. It's supposed to rain all day, so we'll see. It could be a thing where maybe we're in a field. It doesn't sound like the funnest thing for a kid to do, but we'll see. It might be. We kind of probably need to put him in a blind anyway, so we'll see how that goes. What about you, Patrick? I'm gonna try to get on film.
Are you gonna try to film Winsburg?
I got this old cheap raggedy camera that I've camoed up. We should see how it goes. Again, not a content guy.
Weather looks shoddy here too, so I don't know. Guess it depends on what time the rain comes through and whether or not we want to. The kid I'm taking wants to go sit out in it or not. We'll see.
Are you taking Anna Riley?
I was gonna say, who are you taking?
Buddy in our hunting club's kid. I would take Brantley, but he's got a smart kids field trip that day.
Well, what old Eddie Salter say? If you don't have one, borrow one. That's right.
Yeah.
If you're retired, that's
a club member that's got I think he's 14 years old. So
yeah,
we'll see. We'll see what we can get into. Worst case, we can do some scouting for the next day. It's supposed to be
worst case scenario. Yeah, y'all learn where they're roosting, hopefully, and learn where they're wanting to be, and just spend more time out there. Hopefully, not teach him not to bump them or to educate them. Don't be like me.
They're already educated. I was out there yesterday and I heard a bunch of hooting.
That's what you get with a club, man. My God.
Yeah.
Let's just go out there and start calling to them with a call a week before the season or two. Oh my God. I don't think a lot of people know that, though. I don't think a lot of people understand, though, that they like to hear them gobble, just like
scouting.
Yeah, I don't know that they understand, though, that they are educating the bird, and the more yelping they hear from a human, like they eventually pick up on it. They know, like, that's a turkey. That's not a turkey.
Jazz, what do you think is going to happen to us opening March 15th over here? We hadn't had a very good track record at this place.
And nobody has, except
can we finally get it?
I know.
Think we can finally get it done?
We're due.
We're gonna hunt Friday, Saturday, and Sunday morning. We're definitely due.
Who's all going?
I don't know anybody, and I keep my ear to the ground pretty good, and I don't know anybody other than one fella that kills them consistently out there. They're the Eddie Stalker, like he was talking about,
the swamp
years
bird.
Of pressure and
that's what Barnes, the 49 guy, was saying. I asked him, where the hardest turkey in the country is to hunt. And I said, I know it's Mississippi, but I'm going to go ahead and let you answer. And he was like, yeah, I mean, if you can kill a southeastern turkey, then you can kill a turkey anywhere in the woods. And I would say if you can kill one on your place, Patty, where there's 65 hunters, it's a lot of land, but there's a lot of hunters, and it's just a lot. It's like on public land
madhouse
in Mississippi, which is
full of gobblers.
Full of turkeys.
I'm glad it's there. I can't complain too much about it, but it will be. It could be difficult after the first week or so.
Yeah, I mean, hunting in a club can be frustrating. I mean, that's the thing. You do all this scouting, you get all this stuff going, and then you've got this area, and it's not. You're just as have just as much rights to this spot as they do, and you're all equal. But you put in all this work, and opening morning, someone's tagged out right where you were wanting to go. Or in your case, your truck's pulled up to the thing right where you're wanting to go. And it's frustrating to do that. I mean, that's fine, though. There's plenty of land, but still, that's part of it. Not only are you trying to fool the turkey or fool whatever, and we're also having to navigate through that. If you don't have private land of your own to hunt, you've got some, and then still you got poachers.
Yeah.
Which
you go get the rights to a place and think you're the only one that's got it, and then you walking around and find a shell on the ground.
Yeah.
Or,
That's what I got access to a couple new places, and Marlboro Lights. I got access to a new place, and first thing I noticed was some really fresh boot tracks going down and I was like, hope that's the guy who owns the place, boot tracks, but we'll see. Can't wait to run into anybody.
You like to hear them gobble, but at this club, you don't want to make him gobble too much on the limb, or you hear a bunch of trucks cranking up.
Like
let's let you know where he's at. Right. You don't want to make him gobble again.
Right. Yeah, me and you heard that.
You hear
right. Yeah. That's what I remember is me and you. We got struck this bird up it was a pretty good little way, so we had to cut the distance and get to him quickly. And then by the time we got there was already another truck pulling up. You heard the rocks popping, and
Yeah.
it's a guy we knew was fine, but it kind of messed us up, and it just was what it was. It is what it is in a hunting club. That's just how it is.
You got to get where they want to be at some point.
Mm-hmm.
They're hard to hunt off the roost there.
But man, I'm looking forward to getting. I can't. I'm eat up with it right now. I mean, I'm not worth a darn. All I can think about is getting Win out there. I think they're off for spring break next week too. So we're gonna be active next week. So we'll see how it goes.
Look, don't be so hard on Win when you get out there. Just let him shoot the damn thing.
I'm gonna do like Eddie said. Just relax. It's not Eddie Salter. It's all right.
He's gonna have to tell you, Dad, shut up.
You probably ought to let Eddie D carry him out there.
I told Dad, let's take
That'd
him.
be
He said,
the
no,
perfect
son, I want
thing.
this is something you need to do. I was like, all right. I told him, I said, come with us. We'll sit in a blind or something. It'll be fine. I mean, he's 7. It's not like we're going to do a bunch of running and gunning with him. I mean, I tried that with that.
That thing is fixing to put 3 miles on his little feet. He's gonna have blisters. He ain't gonna be
However, if he's gobbling way across we'll head that way. We'll try. We'll see how it goes. The poor little fella, he's ready to go. I told him, I said, couple of days is Turkey Day, buddy. And he was like, you could see it, and he's like, all right, let's go. He's ready. He's been asking me every day, can we go Turkey? Can we go? So we'll see how it goes, man. But I'm pretty jacked up about it. I'm gonna try to film it. We'll see how it goes. If we get in a blind, it'll be easier to film. But if we're running and gunning, I'm probably gonna throw that thing in the ditch. It's not gonna work.
I got Waverly ready to go. She shot her 20 this weekend.
How'd that go?
I'm curious to see how that goes.
She shot the 20.
Yeah.
This is
A
Chaz's
TriStar.
7-year-old little girl.
TriStar 20.
Okay.
With
okay.
the turkey load or with the bird shot?
No. Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got a pistol grip.
Did y'all see those? Yeah, she's got a pistol grip. Did y'all see those videos me and Scott sent?
Mm-hmm. I like his new coin.
You don't realize that. You know how when you got it locked in that device, you don't have the clip for the top.
Yep.
You just
How much it picks up?
You're trying to relax all that you can, so that way
You make a shot.
Man, that we got those 3-inch. He had a 28 gauge, but both of them.
Yeah.
You shot it. Will pow that front. You have to wrestle that front up. So I put Waverly shooting on her knee. And I held the end of it for her. So.
Like 2 or 3 people commented on that Instagram I posted about like, God, it popped out of his hands. Like,
Yeah,
I was like,
popped out of your hand. Yeah.
Yeah. I said, yeah.
You needed to put your hand on top of it. But you wanted that feeling of all the way locked in. You felt like it wasn't going anywhere, but
Well, that's kind of how it is. I mean, you shooting that gun, you have to be relaxed. You start trying to predict the kick and all that, and that's not.
Everybody thinks because it's a 20 gauge, it doesn't kick. No, it's 20 gauge.
You put 3-inch TSS rolling through
tungsten super shot. Yeah, it's gonna.
It's not bad, but I didn't know. I didn't even realize it had that much recoil until I watched that video. I was like, God.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Yeah.
That's when I decided to put Waverly down on her knee and put birdshot in there.
Yeah, that was a good one.
What was Eddie, Mr. Salter, talking about, or was it Mark Brenner talking about an app that you could hook to like a scope so you could see what the kid was seeing?
Yeah. We need to get one of those for Chaz. What's that called? We're gonna put that on your gun so that we can kind of help.
You can see.
Help you. I think you can. I can tell you. Yeah. Okay, it's on it, Chaz. Go ahead and pull the trigger.
That's a good one.
He said his 4-year-old was able to. See, we should not do that. That's going to come back to haunt us. That is not a good move.
Hey, laugh it up. Normal you're shooting, but I tell you what, it's going to come to head.
Oh, I know.
Did you leave? He left. Oh, no, you popped out. I don't know what happened. You know how you're always losing connection. It just went away and come back. We thought you.
We went on a coon hunt Wednesday night with my buddy Chad. Brought up a dog, and I started making jokes about missing turkeys. He's been killing turkeys a long time. He said, "Nope, don't talk about that around me." He said, "When you catch a case of the misses," he said, "I don't care how many of them you kill.
It's a real thing."
He said, "It's the thing. Don't even joke."
I missed one last year, and I missed one the year before. I mean, it happens.
Well, it's going to come to a head, and we'll have a little session on here about it. Have a
God,
little
y'all don't
therapy
want.
session.
Well, you remember I had a deer missing issue there for a while. You know, there's a lot of studies. I've looked into it. You know, there's a lot of studies that show like right before the moment you pull the trigger on an animal, whether it's a turkey or whatever, that like you really can lose like all control of like your thoughts, everything. Like you black out. It's legit. Like that's what I told you. I remember when I was missing those deer. I was like, he's like, Boomer's like, what happened? I was like, I don't know, I just blacked out. I don't know. And that's the same thing that.
You used to
If I
shoot
go,
up the woods. You shot up the
yeah,
woods every afternoon.
we'd be there for 30 minutes here. Bow,
Yeah.
bow,
I
bow.
think I got him. Yeah.
There goes Adam again.
You walk
The guy
up
that had
there.
the tracking, the guy so bad. The guy that had the tracking dog just quit answering his phone call.
We found a few. We had a couple in. I think we had that one that showed back up on camera with half his shoulder missing. That was the worst one. But that's a long story. But there's a few times I didn't miss last year, and we're gonna try to have my boy D Barry on the show. If not next episode, the next. We're gonna talk about the. I'm gonna get him on here. He tells a story where we killed 8 turkeys in a day and a half in Texas, and we call it the Texas Turkey Massacre over there. I'm gonna get him to tell you all that story. He'll tell you. He talks real slow from Yazoo City, you know, and he says, "Adam, we were eating Mexican, drinking margaritas." Yeah, I can't. I'm sure y'all have plenty to talk about with him, but he's sitting there where you know, having a margarita, celebrating, you know, and because you know there's a lot of Mexican places there, and we're sitting there eating, and he's like, Adam, I've been hunting since I was 14 years old. And he's like, that was the best turkey hunt of my life. And I was like, yeah, I got to tell you, it's the best turkey hunt I've ever been on. It was something. So we look forward to hearing that one, the Texas Turkey Massacre. It is a shellacking, buddy. It was a lot of fun. Definitely helps you get the confidence after the season I'd had the year before. You know, I think that helped out a lot. I know you are dying to say something. I can't. I'm just waiting on it. Just come on out with it.
I'm good.
What you got, Chaz?
I don't have anything. I was just
He's
thinking.
saving.
I was just thinking how.
I know he's got something up his sleeve. Hey,
I was really just thinking about like you had such good success at this place in a short amount of time, and you didn't at this place, and then you roast this place like there's not a bird there, and this place is just we got to go to this place, you know.
It's
that
the
just
best.
trips me out. Me and Patrick are gonna have some footage for you when we.
I hope y'all. No, y'all are probably going to do well. I know there's turkeys there. There was turkey sign everywhere. Just never not a gobble. It may have been the weather. Could have been a lot of things. Didn't you have like a helicopter bird on that one?
You got to look at Eddie heard gobbling about every time he went. Patrick went with me. We was on a bird the whole time. Every hunt, every time we put on our boots.
Rio hunter Chaz Brown.
But for some reason, no birds got around them. And hey, I'm not saying that you're a bad hunter. I'm saying that happens. You need to understand that happens. That happens. So it's not. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
That's whenever I was snake bit. We had one gobbling real good, and then we heard the coyotes fire up between us and the gobbler. Remember, a thunderstorm was rolling in last day.
I remember Chaz had a helicopter. I like that. I just called Chaz. He hadn't heard anything. We were griping. I was bitch. I done walked 28 miles, and
no, I killed one the day before. I went.
You killed one that day though, and then you're. And next thing you know, this helicopter comes through, just pop, 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 pop.
Yeah.
And then it lit the woods on fire. Just
it did. They manage that property, or a lot of those cattle people out there. You don't know that they kind of manage that property and keep head counts on the cattle with the helicopter. So a real small helicopter, and all of a sudden, I heard like you just heard the popping. But you know, if you get real close, you can hear it popping. I haven't heard anything that morning yet. One way off, but none of them are within 200 yards of me. And anyways, it came straight through that bottom and just crossed that mesquite bottom that I was overlooking right there. And every turkey in that bottom lit up, gobbling. Ow, ow. And of course, here I am.
Rio gobbles.
You know, I'm right behind them. They're just hammering. And then I think called up 3 or 4 of them and cleaned up one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember that. Just a few minutes later, I heard pop,
Yeah.
And then I heard the helicopter. I didn't hear you gobbling. And then
It was
I
over.
heard pop. And then I get a picture. I was like, that son of a gun. God dog it.
I
You
think
know,
I had
You
because
such a
I
hard
knew
time-
the
I had
trash
such a hard
talking.
time.
I drove by that old Horseshoe Casino on the way home, by the way, where we bet Patty that night. We left that night. I was like, let's just leave now. We left that night and about killed a rattlesnake at the gate. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then
flip-flop.
I was like, I'm gonna put Horseshoe Casino in right now, and I bet you won't drive there. We got there like 3 a.m. and then I've got a great video of us walking in with Eddie. My dad, who's like 62 at the time, 61 probably. He's like, well, I got to see this. We didn't talk Patrick into putting some money down on red. And of course, all
Was
the
it
tables
red
were.
or full of
Oh,
slots
whatever,
and
Black.
$5
I don't
down?
remember.
was-
Yeah,
it
well,
was
what happened was
roulette.
the roulette tables were down, so all they had was some electronic roulette thing, and he just was putting in as much as he could do it, and he hit, and we were like, oh yeah, and then he did it again. He hit again, if I remember right, and then he didn't
Then the
hit,
tables turn, yeah.
and then he wanted to
Always
say,
something.
he's like, I'm gonna put it in the slot machine. It didn't work out either. Oh yeah, that
If
was
you want
good.
to stop at the Horseshoe Casino at 3 a.m. in Louisiana, they're not open for business other than digital.
I think we went to bed at like 5 a.m. or something. I remember talking. I was like, I bet them turkeys are gobbling again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
not where we were, but yeah. Yeah, that was fun. That's when it all got started to cover here, guys. Spring football. Oh, Bammer radio report. What's the Bammer Nation?
Bammers are happy. They started back spring ball, and they've got
So that was my thing on the spring ball. I was like, I bet that sucker is under a microscope right now because they have started all these springs where they know what's going to happen. And if he does anything that's different than what Nick Saban normally does,
I
they
know,
got
it-
they're going to know.
It's going to be a mess. It really is.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be rough. It's going to be fun. The NFL Combine. Did y'all check the NFL Combine out?
I did. You see the kid from Texas for
Dude,
set the
4-2
record for
something.
the 40, 4-2,
Yeah, like 4-2-1.
something.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, he broke the record.
He's getting
Yeah,
paid.
I saw LSU wise. I saw Jefferson, the D lineman, is it Jordan Jefferson, the D lineman. We've had so many Jeffersons, I can't keep up. But he repped out like 34 reps on 225. He led the
Yeah,
combine, and then
Richardson. If you don't pay attention to contracts and stuff like that, like a lot of people send people to the league and stuff, but Mississippi State, there's a bunch of people making a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? They got the top
oh yeah,
defensive line and basically defense. But we sent DCam to the pro day, and he's our cornerback, one of our cornerbacks, and I think he was like a 4.36, and he was like the 8th fastest cornerback.
jeez, that's blazing, son. Yeah, I saw Brian.
That's Ward Cobb speed.
Yeah, Ward
He
Cobb.
ran a 4. It was in the 4.3s.
He's a guard, offensive guard.
Ward was a 4.68 offensive guard at private school back in the 80s.
4'6".
200
He's a
pounds or 210
4.68
or
private. And then we got to looking, and Jerry Rice didn't run but a 4.6.
Yeah.
He was just right there on him.
I saw Brian Thomas. He ran a 4.3, whatever. He upped his stock quite a bit. He might be one of the most physical wide receivers in the combine this year.
They're saying the Bears are going to trade up to. They got the number 1 pick. They say they're going to take Caleb Williams, and then number 5 pick they're going to take Malik Neighbors.
Yeah. And Malik, they're comparing him to what's the crazy guy, the one that went nuts, Antonio Brown, being like he can just get open like all the time, create these windows that a lot of people can't. He's pretty special. Thomas, though, is just, I mean, honestly, no one's talking about him, but I mean, he just ran a 4.33 40, and he was only like 200 less yards than Malik this year. He's pretty awesome. And then
Those 2 receivers, Malik went to the league, and
Thomas
went to the league, and y'all are currently recruiting on the Sigma Chi's that get your defensive line full. Is that right?
Yeah.
it's
We're
like-
we're fine. We just got a
wanna hear
5-star. It's gonna be okay.
Oh yeah, we're going to build towards that national title, but we're having open tryouts for defensive linemen at LSU this week. We're like,
Yeah, everything
That's
I'm
the
reading.
problem.
Last report I heard was they were trying to put 40 pounds on the kicker so they could put him over there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Coach, why is the kicker pushing the sled? We're gonna put him on a weight program.
Instead of giving up 53 a game this year, they're gonna give up 51. So let's
Yeah.
hope the next
Step in the right
person.
direction.
Yeah, if
What's
we
his
can get
name,
a
the quarterback now?
Nussmeyer.
Nussmeyer will be good. He'll be All-American and all that. But
He's definitely a more traditional quarterback. I mean, he's more of a drop back
it's
passer.
going
Going
to
to
get
play under center.
offset, though. It's going to get offset by having the president of the Sigma Chi is playing D tackle right there. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
that's going to be a problem. Yeah, it'll be on.
It's going to be real good.
Can Tommy Tanks tackle?
Yeah. That's fine timing.
probably
Where's he
tackle.
at?
Yeah, that's pretty good stuff.
Not good. Better get in that portal. Get that hole filled.
Well, anything else you guys we want to talk about? We're going to brush back on before the Bammers, or we got them going. We already
What
did
about
every.
a therapy session? We don't have a therapy.
We hadn't
session
done a
this week.
therapy session this week. Just be easy on Win. Is that your best?
Yeah.
Be easy on my son.
Well,
freaking
how
have him.
interesting will this? How interesting will this podcast get? March 30th, if Adam hadn't killed a turkey yet.
It's
He
not
goes
very
to
interesting.
Texas and strikes out. He strikes out in Mississippi.
Florida.
March
Florida.
30th. Oh, I forgot about Florida. Too.
Florida. This is going to be a big year for.
It's hard. It's hard to strike out in Texas. It's hard to strike out there.
I've done it before.
It's hard though. But now,
Not where I'm going.
from
It
what
is
I
hard.
understand, these Florida Osceolas, they're just kind of elite. You know what I'm saying? It's a small population a smaller population of them. A lot of hunters after them. I don't know.
Yeah.
We're
That
going
may
to
be
find
tough.
out. Yeah, it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
We're going to find out. Me and Scott are going to go down there and we're going to see what we can do. Wrap up a Grand Slam. So we'll see how that goes. A real Grand Slam, not the Polk Grand Slam, whatever you are talking about. Hopefully we get lucky
right.
and get.
So you got the Eastern in Mississippi. You got the Osceola.
That's going to be the hardest one to kill. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to try to
Then
do
you
it in a
got the
single
Rio,
season.
and then you got the Merriam.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All I got to do is an Osceola, but I'd like to do it in one. I almost did it a double last year if I'd have just taken my tail to Florida, but that's a little easier said than done. So,
Yeah, that's hard. That's an expensive bird.
Yeah. I mean, well, if you don't do the priority points and you don't do the whole thing, I mean, you can go on the Hunt 49 app and look at all the rules and regulations because it's a lot. But if you don't do that, and good luck getting in. And then when you do get into public land down there, I think it's like you're camping out in a tent with, you're going to have to get dropped off out there, like way off in the middle of this marsh. It's a nightmare. I've watched a few videos. It looks like a lot. I mean, I'd love to do it, but being blind, I would have to go with someone who has done it before to guide us just a little bit, tell us,
What do they
give
say
us
the
some good direction.
Osceola gobble's like compared to everything else?
I don't.
I ain't heard much different on that.
I don't think it's as loud as I think the Eastern is the strongest. That deep thing, and then we talk about
a lot louder than the Eastern.
and the Rios just never stop. Well, that's not true either. They do stop. Obviously, I found that out. But when they're gobbling, they usually just keep gobbling, and then the Merriam's turkey. It sounds like that cartoon gobble. Isn't that what you say? It's like,
Yeah.
it does. It sounds like a cartoon gobble. It's like weird.
What's going on?
Yeah, I think it's probably somewhere around like, I don't really know, but I'm gonna find out. I think it's like a Rio though. We'll see. We're gonna find out. I don't know. I don't think they gobble as much as I think they gobble less than any of the other turkeys.
And their spurs a little bigger.
I could be wrong. Yeah, no, their spurs can get
they got
extremely.
hooks on them.
They got some hooks on them. I don't care I don't care what kind of hooks it has. I just want one. I just need one.
Well, look, you get out there and you figure it out. Strike out. Drop us a pin next year and we'll all go.
Yeah. I know how this goes. I know how this goes. They're gonna let me do all the. That's why y'all aren't going. I'm gonna let Adam see if this works out for him, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. Anyway, guys, man, it's been fun. Anything else we want to cover before we wrap this thing up?
Well, that's it.
I can't. I'd like to talk to y'all tomorrow after Southern Miss handles business.
Yeah. Well, we have a little short session
Therapy
on
session.
Southern Miss therapy
How about
session
we-
for Chad.
I believe we
Love
get
you,
them.
Gizmo.
So that's it. So next week I'm sure we're going to have a lot to talk about with youth turkey hunters and youth turkey season. You seem to be active with that. And then I know, obviously, next week or the next, we're going to be talking with my buddy D Berry, who we're going to talk about the Texas hunt we went on last year. And then, guys, look, if you haven't already, we just keep forgetting to ask this, but definitely like, subscribe. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and Amazon Music. If you can, go give us a 5-star rating. We would appreciate it. If give us some feedback. Hit us up in our Instagram Messenger. If there's something you'd like to see more on there, man, we're open to suggestions and feedback on that. We're here. The listeners have been growing tremendously. The analytics on this thing has been more than we thought. I'm surprised they want to listen to three guys.
Hey,
completely full of it. Just keep
who's that
rambling.
guy that tagged us last night? We ever find that out? In
We-
Osceola Strutter or something?
Oh yeah, people are tagging us on TikTok, and I don't know. No, I have no idea. I got to hit
You
that
know
up.
that-
Yeah, no idea, no clue, never
Just
seen it.
curious. Yeah.
Apparently, he may listen to the show. He's a spudsy.
Hopefully he does.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll
Say
get
hopefully he
lucky and,
does.
hopefully we'll get lucky and somehow throw us a little Osceola hunt, and you and Scott can break them pocketbooks out.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
Battle down there.
that's another thing. All this. We are open and willing to potentially trade hunts for opportunities. So those out there listening, anyway. All right, guys.
I would really like to know if in these other states and Nebraskas and the Kansases and the northern birds, they get up there and they just come right on in. We all have played with them up there, and you get down here and that's what me and Adam were talking about this morning. We said we got to come up with some verbiage, a word to describe the Mississippi or Alabama Eastern turkey. That's the
It's a
toughest one
different
out
deal.
there. It is the toughest one out there, and I just want to. We got to come up with our own word. And freaking,
We're gonna have Chat GPT that. We're gonna figure something out, because I can tell you, there's no other harder. Just like the Hunt 49 guy, he's hunted all over the place, and that's what he was saying. He's like, no, he hadn't killed a Mississippi bird yet. That's one of his spots he hadn't killed yet. So we're in conversations with that. But that guy was great. Again, thank you for coming on. For doing that. And man, we're glad that we were able to help promote his Hunt 49 app. That thing was amazing. But like I said, guys, before we wrap this thing up, like, subscribe, 5-star rating on Apple, Spotify, YouTube. By all means, if you can, man, hit that subscribe button. We'd appreciate it. So, and that is a wrap.